Hello, welcome back to the interface. My name's Alex and this is my infotainment guide and walkthrough for the Honda Jazz in 2025. Now the current generation of the Honda Jazz since its launch in 2020 has had this 9-inch colour touchscreen with support for wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto and a few other features. In this video we're going to walk through everything you need to know about this infotainment screen and how to use it, as well as all the features on the driver's display too. So this is the main touchscreen infotainment system that you'll find in pretty much all of Honda's current lineup, apart from the e:Ny1. So you'll find it in the Civic, the HR-V, the brand new Prelude, the CR-V, and obviously the Honda Jazz as well. It hasn't been updated for quite a while. It is sort of due for a design refresh and a bit of a tech refresh at some stage, but at the moment it does get the job done and it does work pretty well, and it is worth exploring again for 2025. So this screen has got, as I said, support for wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you've got Bluetooth audio here, a load of different settings in here which we'll go through in this video. But first I want to look at the physical controls on the screen and all the software controls too. So in terms of physical controls, it's surprisingly quite good. We've got a home button up here, which takes you back to this main screen. So if I go to anything like navigation, and then click on back on home, and it takes you back to the home screen. And this back button is, if you've used Android before, it's very much like how that works on an Android phone. Very similar, and it'll just take you back to the menu beforehand without any software controls for it. It's pretty good, really. Down here, we've got the volume knob, which is quite a rare thing to see in a modern car, so that's pretty good. And then clicking that in will turn the audio on and off rather than the screen itself. If you want to get the screen powered up, you'll have to just turn the ignition on like I've got now without the engine running instead. And down here you've got the skip tracks, and that will take effect if you're on the radio. You can skip between different stations, but also Apple CarPlay or Bluetooth audio, whatever you want to use. Down on the bottom there are some other software shortcuts. You've got navigation, phone, FM, Bluetooth audio, DAB and display mode. Display mode just lets you adjust the brightness and you can turn the display off as well from there. At the very top you've got audio source, so clicking on this button will take you to changing, like a quick shortcut to change the audio. So between FM, AM, Bluetooth audio, DAB, USB and Apple CarPlay. This one up here will take you to the current thing that's being played. So at the moment I've got the Charging Status podcast, which was recorded a few days ago. So you can check that out in the description down below. But whatever you've got playing, it will be displayed in that top section there. This one up here is all the icons and the status of the vehicle. So it's the system status. You've got the phone battery level is the battery one. Signal strength for your phone, which is the other one there. And it tells you with the Wi-Fi symbol whether or not it is connected to Apple CarPlay, and it is at the moment. And lastly, connected to TCU. I believe that is to do with the Honda Plus or the Honda app for your phone. Unfortunately, this is a loan from Honda's press office in the UK, and due to the way you have to register the Honda app, I can't set that up for this video, but there are some other videos out there about the Honda app for your phone. And in the top left hand corner you've got the time, which clicking on it will take you to the clock, and as you can see I've changed that to the Honda Asimo robot. Nice and friendly there. In here there are some settings for the time, which we'll look through a bit later, but clicking on the home button again will take you back to the main screen. All pretty good, really. Before we have a further look at the Honda Jazz infotainment system, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the Interface Cars YouTube channel. There's lots of content coming every week. Brand new car reviews, infotainment walkthroughs just like this one, and EV charging guides. So the first one you've got is the All Apps section. So you can decide to hide or show certain things from the main home screen. So at the moment everything is being shown. By default the app installer won't be shown on the main screen. But that allows you to add manual APK files, Android files to the screen if you want to run any custom apps on your car. So yeah, you can go through and hide certain things if you don't want to use certain things on the car, so that's pretty good there. The first one is navigation. So the Honda Jazz has a built-in satellite navigation system. It isn't the most up-to-date system in the world, not the most flashiest, but it does kind of get the job done, really. I think most people who own a Honda will end up just using the Apple CarPlay and Google Maps or Waze or Apple Maps or something along those lines. But it is good to see a built-in navigation app, because there are some cars released in 2025 that don't have a built-in sat-nav to their software. And if you're renting the car or you don't have a smartphone or for whatever reason, you've at least got a built-in sat-nav without having to use a TomTom sat-nav or something along those lines. So at the moment it is showing the way I'm pointed in the car. So if I click this compass button, that makes it face in a normal direction. You can see here I did click on random things and it will take you to that location. So it will set a pinpoint, you can just click and it will take you to that certain coordinate. Not the most accurate by the look of things. It does seem okay actually. But yeah, there is a nice option there as well. On this main screen, you've got the search button, you've got the sort of find me sort of button there, you've got zoom in and out. The performance for pinch to zoom is a bit stuttery, so the panning on it could do with a bit of refinement. But as I said, the infotainment system on modern Hondas hasn't been updated in quite a while. But yeah, that's fine. So if you click on search here, you've got the option to type in certain things. So let's type in Big Ben and get directions to a London landmark. So it did take a few minutes there, but it is giving me directions to Big Ben now. So if I click on this one here, and then click on go, I should probably speak in a second and give me directions to London from where I am now. So audio has been turned off. You've got the next thing you need to do, what time it thinks you'll get there, how many miles it is from where I am currently. You then got the option to end the current directions. You can turn the audio back on. You've got a hamburger or the 3-line menu. You can go through and look at those settings. You've got the map options in here. You've got the traffic icons. So traffic icons is to do with like roadworks or something else along those lines that's causing issues on the road. So you can turn those on and off. And as you can see, that back button is now becoming useful. So there isn't a software back button. You do click on the hardware button instead. Traffic flow. So typically this will be the red, orange and green lines on the roads on the map to let you know what speed the traffic is moving, or if it's not moving at all, which is usually the case in the UK. That can be on or off. You've got the colour scheme, which is auto. So you can have it as auto, day or night. So day mode will be quite bright. So the map is this white sort of theme here. If we go back into map options and look at the colour scheme again for night mode, you got a black sort of very dark map. So the screen itself doesn't look overly bright in the daytime, but at night time it is quite bright. So it is quite nice to see there are some options in here for adjusting the brightness and all the themes and stuff. So back into here, we'll put it back on auto, go back a page. Points of interest. So this would be things like petrol stations, parking, food, probably Honda dealerships as well. I've seen this sometimes on certain cars. So you can go ahead and hide certain things from that if you want to. There's a breadcrumb trail, which is more useful off-road. So as I said, this software is used in the CR-V, which is probably Honda's most off-road focused vehicle at the moment. So you can have that on or off, or if you want to know where you've been in your Jazz, you can do that as well. And then there's breadcrumb reporting, so you can say only off-road or on or off. So again, as I said, this software is the same on the CR-V. You can delete your breadcrumb trail, so if you want to delete everything, you can. And then you've got landmark settings. So when you go through the map here, you can have 3D landmarks to be displayed on or off, and landmark texture, so that can be turned on or off too. Go back to route options here. So when you get directions using the built-in sat-nav, there are certain things you want it to do. You can say, let's go back here, route options. You can say alternative route, so it's now going to reroute to an alternative route for you. If we do route options and then route overview, that will give you the route that it's going to do for you, which is quite good. So it seems like a lot of the view options are hidden behind that little menu there, which is not a massive issue. And then getting back to that menu there we go, route options, route demo. So it will now sort of do a little animation about running you through the route that it's going to get you to do in some sort of speed. So you can have it do 8 times speed and it will get you there. There we go. So if someone's driving that fast in their Jazz, I've got a bit of concern. So we'll cancel that. Let's go down to route preferences now. So when you do get directions, you can tell the Honda sat-nav to do certain things like avoid motorways, avoid the toll roads, avoid ferries, avoid train ferries. So there's a lot of customization there in terms of how it's going to get you to where you want to go. There's also a destination list. So this is things you've asked the car to take you to certain places. So all I've done so far is ask the car to take me to Big Ben, and there's now a list of places it's been. Traffic rerouting. So it will do in real time. It will try and reroute you to a different route if there's any traffic on the route for you. If anyone's used to Google Maps or Apple Maps for a very long time, this is kind of baked into those systems now. It's kind of something we expect, but you have got the option in here to turn it on or off based on the Honda sat nav itself. I'll put it on auto there. And then lastly, route calculation method. So when it is getting directions for you, what kind of route is it going to do? Is it going to do the fastest route, the shortest route, or the best suggested? So there are some nice customization options in there. Let's go back a page here. You've got tutorial. So this is a overlaid little page of what all the buttons do on the map app on this car. So there are 6 pages here about how to do certain things. Obviously you can run through this video instead if you want to. Manage places, so there are avoidance areas. So if you want to avoid a certain area for any reason, you can add an area in there. You've got your home address. So at the moment this is Honda's car, so they've set their home address as Honda's HQ. Save places, so if you've got any save places you want to go to, so you can add your work or, I don't know, Greg's or something in there, so that's quite handy. Got recent, so this is the places you've asked it to take you to. And then downloaded places, so if you do want to download some places, you can do that as well. All nice and handy. There's also map update. So this particular car, it does have support for sort of a mobile SIM, but certain things don't work over that mobile SIM. So if you want to update the map app on the Jazz, you will have to do it via USB or via Wi-Fi. So you can connect the car itself to a Wi-Fi network, be that a home Wi-Fi network or the Wi-Fi network from your phone's personal hotspot. And you can also do a full map update via USB. So it does seem like when you do update it via Wi-Fi that it is a home region or a region in general. But if you do it via a USB drive, you can looks like you can do a full map update if you want to. And down here, you click on database version. It tells you which version of the map database that the car is running. So in case you have updated it, I'm not too sure that it's actually gone through, you can check that as well. Down here, we've got settings for the map app itself. So you can say adjust vehicle position. So if you want to adjust where the car is in terms of where the car thinks it is for any reason, you can do that if you want to. We'll go down to settings, reset to default. So you can reset the entire map system to default. And it looks like that will remove any managed places or current route data and that sort of stuff. Online services, so it isn't massively clear what this kind of stuff does. I will put a link in the description to some information about what this system does. It isn't massively clear, as I said. I'd imagine it's something to do with the mobile SIM card in the car, but again I will put a link in the description. Based on what this is showing me, it's not that clear, and also, as I said earlier, I don't have access to the My Honda app for your phone. About software license, so it just says Honda's open source software, which is nice to see, and that's about it for the map app. Really a pretty good effort, I think, but yeah, obviously a lot of people just tend to use Apple Maps on their phone. The next one is the phone app. So at the moment I've got Apple CarPlay connected and it just takes you to the phone app in CarPlay, which is all good. If you have got your phone connected via Bluetooth, it will do a Bluetooth dialer, so we'll have a look at that now. So I'll just disconnect my phone. So I've turned Wi-Fi off on my phone now. So if I go to the settings, again, we'll look at this bit in a minute. Go to connections and then to Bluetooth. And at the moment, my phone's not connected, but if I click on the phone icon, what that would do is connect it via Bluetooth only and not to Apple CarPlay, because Apple CarPlay uses a direct Wi-Fi connection between your car and the phone. And now if I click on phone, that will open up the built-in phone app, and you can dial numbers from here if you want to. You've got some settings as well, so you can change devices. So if you have got another device you want to use, you can change to a different phone. Go back here. You've got auto sync phone, which is turned on, and this will automatically import contacts and recent calls from your phone each time the vehicle is started. So you can have that on or off, as I said. Auto phone call transfer. So when your phone is connected to the car, when you do get a phone call, where should that call go? So it'll automatically pass it on to the car speakers if you have got a phone call coming in. And then you've got the ringtone as well. So you can say, do you want the phone to ring or do you want the vehicle to ring its own ringtone and stuff? You've got some recent calls in here, which will be downloaded from your phone. You've got favorite contacts and contacts itself, all pretty easy to use. And then also the dialer pad itself. The next one is FM. So there is a built-in FM, AM and DAB radio in the Honda Jazz, and each kind of frequency for radio is built into a separate app, so we'll look into each one as we get there. So this is the FM version. So along this section here, you can see the list of frequencies that the car's picked up, and you can add favorites to that list if you want to. You've got the seek track, well, the seek frequency button, and that will seek between different radio stations that it's picked up. You can then tune, so if you want to pick a manual frequency that you've heard, or you want to add a manual one, for example, you can do that in there. And then scan will scan the vicinity for any new stations that have come up, which is a bit unlikely with FM now, but you never know. Station list, so now I've done a scan, it should pick up some more stations. And these are sort of categorized into, you've got the genre of the station, and then the name of the station if it has picked it up. But there are a few in my area, not many at all really, which is about what I'd expect really from that, from sort of 2025. If you have got a station open, it will say FM over here, then the genre, which is pop music. And this one looks to be capital FM, so we've got now on capital, and then the name of the sort of music that's being played. It might be pulling that in from DAB, to be fair, because FM doesn't actually support sort of rich text information, but there is those options in there. Within here, we've got the sound settings, which we'll look at later in the video in the settings section, and then the settings here for the radio itself. So again, this is FM only, and then TA information is on or off. And this is a traffic announcement, a sort of a regional traffic announcement system if you're not sort of aware of it. And when you're driving along and there's any traffic problems, you'll sometimes get a regional based traffic alert through FM. It'll switch you to a local radio station that are doing that alert. Pretty good there. Sort of an old school thing, not really done that much anymore, but still nice to see it is supported. Got AF as well, so alternate frequencies. So if there is a radio station that has support for multiple frequencies in one area, it will be able to switch over by itself in order to make it sound better for you. Got reg, so if a radio station has been picked up with the same PI code, it will switch to that if you want to. And then you've got news as well, so similar sort of vein as the TA or TP mode. There is a news sort of automatic switching mode as well, so it's news standby. We'll go back to the main screen. We've got Apple CarPlay, so I'll connect my phone again now to Wi-Fi, and we'll just go through that. Then we'll go back to the home screen, click on CarPlay, and CarPlay is running. So this is completely wireless on the Honda Jazz, and you can use it wired with USB-A if you want to. So there are some USB-A ports below the center console. There are some USB-C ports in the back, but weirdly we've got a combination of the two. And yeah, CarPlay is pretty self-explanatory now. It is very, very easy to use, very, very fluid. This screen, yeah, okay, it's I said it was fluid. It's all right. This screen has a slightly anti-reflective coating on it, which is really nice actually, because it makes filming it a bit easier. But it has got a weird sort of motley effect on brighter backgrounds like this CarPlay screen. So it sort of has a weird sort of hazy view, but not a massive issue really. But you got things like Apple Podcasts, which you can listen to your favorite podcasts, like Charging Status if you want to, and what sort of good stuff there. Got Android Auto, which I can't demo in this video because I don't own an Android phone, but I'd imagine it works in a very, very similar way. We then got Bluetooth audio. So I'm going to connect my phone here. So we're going to connect device. We're going to click on my phone, click on the source button, click on audio, and then click on apply. And that will disconnect Apple CarPlay now and connect to audio manually with Bluetooth. And this is great because if you have got an iPod or something, or a phone without CarPlay or something along those lines, you can use Bluetooth audio to get audio to your car, which is great. There are some settings in here like change device, again sound settings, which you saw a bit earlier. You got the track, skip buttons, play, repeat, and shuffle, and then browse. So if you have used this kind of thing before, you can browse the files on your phone. Click on my phone, got my radio and all that sort of stuff in there, and then podcast as well. And yeah, you can see Smith and Sniffs in there. If you have used the Volkswagen Up, the latest version, you'll see that's a very, very familiar sort of system for you. This isn't really an app, it's just an on-off switch for TA, so traffic announcement. So as we saw a bit earlier, you can have that on for the radio system. The next page is the settings. So you've got general settings and vehicle settings. General settings is more of the system settings, like the display brightness, the sound settings, and what phones are connected to the car, so all pretty good there. The other one is more vehicle stuff, more like self-drive, the lane assist stuff and the vehicle assistance systems. So the first one is system. In here we can adjust the date and time, the languages, and all that sort of stuff. So date and time, you can set the date and time, and you can got the automatic mode for date and time as well. That's on or off. And what's really nice to see is that the Honda Jazz and the Honda Infotainment system is actually intelligent regarding daylight saving. So I'm recording this a few days after daylight saving, and when I drove the car on Sunday, it actually picked up the fact that it was the correct time and date. Great. A lot of cars don't tend to have a very intelligent system for managing the daylight saving in the UK, so great to see on the Honda Jazz. So yeah, you've got automatic date and time, got time zone here, again all automatic, and you can see it's on the +2 hour for GMT. Then auto daylight saving time is greyed out when it is set on auto. You've got the option for date format here, so 2 wrong ones and then the correct one in the middle. So there we go. And then down the bottom you've got the 12-hour or 24-hour format as well. Got languages, so it seems to be all the languages where this Honda Jazz is sold. You can set a different language for the center display and a different language again for the driver's display, which, as you'll realise, Honda call it the meter in this software here. So you can go through and change all the languages if you want to, and you can save or cancel. Pretty good there. Touch panel sensitivity is either high or normal. So high here, let's do, seems normal. Can't really tell the difference, to be honest. And then system volumes. So you've got system sounds, different volume there, text to speech, navigation guidance, and the ringtones as well. And you can set everything to default, and it was on default anyway. Location of vehicle data sharing is turned on, and that is to do with sort of the My Honda app potentially. So there are some options in there, and you can get a reminder to refuel the car. And that will come up on the driver's display here. It seems to be most cars, petrol cars anyway, tell you to refuel the car, but you've got an option in there to do that as well. You can have that turned off. You've got About, so it tells you the Android version, which is Android 8. It's quite old now, but a lot of cars I review, they come with Android 8. That just seems to be the system software they run. Got the model number, legal information, and the status. So in status, we've got IP address, MAC address, update, uptime, and location. Legal information, which says the software was developed by Panasonic, which is quite cool to see. Loads of stuff in there. And then kernel versions and build numbers, all that sort of good stuff in there. And then factory data reset. You can reset everything if you want to and delete every single thing from the car. And then you've got detail information as well. So this is where the Android software under the skin sort of comes alive. So you've got the app manager, you've got Android system web view. There's loads of stuff in here. You can see all the stuff that this car's running, and then down here you've got show system, and there's all the system apps that Panasonic have developed for the car. And as you can see by the scroll bar, there's a ton of stuff on here. Right, so let's go back to smartphone connection now. So you've got the option to look at Apple CarPlay, connect a new device, and you've got the available devices as well. Android Auto, so you've got the phones that are connected for Android Auto. So whoever is driving this car before me, looks like they had a Motorola Edge 30. You've got connections in here, so you've got Wi-Fi. So as I said earlier, you can connect this car to a Wi-Fi network to download updates, or at the moment it is set up to connect to my phone for Apple CarPlay. Bluetooth, same sort of deal here. You can go through and manage the devices which are using Bluetooth. So as you saw a bit earlier when I was changing the modes on the car, in order to connect my phone to Apple CarPlay or Bluetooth, you click on these options in here and you can select the options in there. And then you can set a priority device. So if you and someone else are in the car all the time and you want your phone to connect to the car, by default you can then set a priority device for your phone to connect to the car instead. And then up here there are some options. So again, you can turn Bluetooth on or off if you want to, and you've got priority device. And it says when present in the vehicle, the priority device will be connected for its allowed functions. At the moment it is audio. Got display as well. It's not a massively bright display, but it does have that anti-reflective coating, which is quite nice. So you can adjust the brightness in here, and as you saw a bit earlier, you can do it from this page down here too. You've got contrast, you can do high or low. Same for black levels, low or high. And then there is a night mode, which just dims the whole display, and a day mode as well. And then you could default all the brightness settings in there. Sound settings. So it is a relatively good speaker system in the Jazz. It's not a Bose system as you'll find in maybe the CR-V, but it does do a very good job in terms of sounding quite nice. Podcasts sound great, and so does some music as well. So you've got bass and treble, everything's on default, which is good. You've got treble, mid-range and bass. Balance and fader, so this is to do with where the centre of the sound stage is going to be. You can have it be right over in the top left-hand corner, top right-hand corner, in the rear, or whatever, and you can default everything if you want to as well. And then lastly is speed volume compensation. This is to do with sort of adjusting the volume as the car you're driving is getting faster. So when you go faster, obviously you'll get more road noise, more wind noise, and a lot of cars have this feature where the car itself will adjust its volume based on how fast you're going. We'll have that on default, which is what it's on. And then camera, there is a reversing camera in the Honda Jazz. It isn't the highest resolution. There's more info about the rear camera in my main review, which is linked down below. But there are some settings in here for setting up the guidelines and the sort of the lines you see on the screen when you're reversing. They will give you a good idea of where you are reversing to. You've got voice controls. There is a built-in voice assistant, which isn't the most intelligent system in the world. But if you are using the voice control button on the steering wheel, you'll then activate Siri as well. So let's activate that now. Tune to 88.3.
Tuning to 88.3.
So switch to a radio station, which is BBC Radio 2. But as you can see here, there aren't many sort of sophisticated options. It just is very, very basic stuff, really. And that's it for all the system settings. The next one is vehicle settings. So this is to do with, as you can see, the meter setup for the driver's display, the driver assistant, and all sorts of bits and pieces in there. Got deflation warning system, is simply just to calibrate the TPMS sensor, the tyre pressure monitoring system. Yeah, if you have got a puncture and you have replaced the tyre, just go in here and calibrate that sensor. Some cars have a physical button for it, but obviously it's probably not that required. There is space down here for it by the right hand side of my knee, but it's just in the screen instead on the Jazz. Driver assist system as well. There's a plenty good amount of assistance systems on the Jazz, but there are also a lot of customization options too. So the first one is preceding vehicle proximity warning distance. You've got the option for far, normal or near, and that's when you're coming up in front of, behind a car and you're probably not slowing down quickly enough. It will alert you to the fact that is happening, and a lot of the time, sometimes it will actually brake for you in some cars. So you've got the option of when should that system kick in and sort of take over for you. So that's far, normal or near. So you've got ACC vehicle ahead detected beep. When you've lost a car in ACC range, adaptive cruise control, or latched onto a car again, it will play a beep when that has happened, and that is on or off. Road departure mitigation settings, so that is essentially the lane assist system, and that's early, normal or delayed. It's a delay of when it should alert you that you've gone over the white line. Lane keep assist beep, so that's to do with the LKAS. So if it has detected, not detected any road lines, or has, it'll alert you about that, and that is on or off too. Traffic sign recognition system display. So there's no alert system for that, which is quite good, but there is a display function in the driver's display here, or the driver's meter as they call it, and that's on or off, and that does a very good job actually of picking up the current speed limit in the zone you're in. And there is a speed limit sign change beep. So when you enter a new speed zone, it will beep at you to let you know the speed limit has changed. And you can turn that off. And one of the things that's quite unusual about this car is because it was essentially signed off quite a while ago for the UK market, even though it's a 2025 car, a lot of the features are from a few years ago. So that means they don't have to come back on when you turn them off. So things like speed limit, the speed limit warning sound doesn't come back on, neither does lane assist. It's all pretty refreshing actually, but it is a bit of an older car essentially. You also got rear sensor setting as well. So when you have got the car in reverse, even though you have got a reversing camera, you can turn on or turn off the physical parking sensors too. Next one is meter setup. So for the driver's display, essentially, we've got the warning messages, which is on or off, and all that's doing is, as I'll show you a bit later in the video, it's telling you certain things you need to do. So the moment the warning messages are simply icons. If you turn on the messages, it will add some extra text context. You've got the option to adjust the outside temperature display. So there is a temperature gauge in the driver's cluster. And you've got the option to offset the temperature by plus or minus 3 degrees. So if I do plus 3 degrees here, it just says 18. If I do minus 3, it just says 12. So there is that option there if you want to do that. I'm just going to keep it on 0, as it should be. You've got trip A reset timing and trip B reset timing. So there is some options in there to look at when these systems are reset. So I've got the option to manually reset these at the moment, but you can say when the ignition is turned off, reset the trip, or when the car has been fully refueled. Same for trip B as well. Got alarm volume control, which is mid, and you can say max, mid, or min. You've got turn-by-turn display. So in the driver's cluster, there are some options in here to look at the mapping data, basically. So these turn-by-turn directions, an actual arrow about where to turn, but also a countdown bar chart thing to let you know when you need to turn down a lane. And that data will come from Apple Maps or whatever system you're using on your car. Speed distance unit, so kph or miles per hour, and that will be when you're driving abroad or in Ireland or whatever. And then the rear seat reminder, so it will just remind you that you may have left something in the back seats. Got the lighting setup, so auto high beam is on or off. Very, very good system in the Jazz. It works, surprisingly well at doing a very good job of turning those lights on and off, even when a car is really, really far away. But more on that in my main driving review. Interior light dimmer duration is 60, 30 or 15 seconds. So that's how long these lights inside will stay on for when you close the doors. Auto headlights off timer, so when you lock the car and walk away, how long should those lights stay on for? Got 60, 30 or 15 seconds. And this is awesome. I love this feature. It's the headlight integration with wipers. So when the wipers are on auto mode and the lights are on auto mode, and if it isn't dark but it is raining and the wipers have picked up that it is raining, it will then turn the lights on. And that's amazing because a lot of people tend to forget that they need to do that, or they should do that. So it's really, really good. That's built into the Jazz. And there's door and window setup. So you've got keyless lock notification, security relock timer, and the auto folding door mirrors. So in keyless lock notification, you can have the lights flash when you lock or unlock the doors. Security relock timer is 30, 60 or 90 seconds. So if you unlock the car and then don't open any doors, how long should the door stay open for until the car locks by itself if you haven't opened those doors? That's 90, 60 or 30 seconds. And then auto folding door mirrors. They'll basically fold and unfold when you lock and unlock the car. Back to here, got the trip computer. So this just pulls data from the main driver's display and displays it in a very nice and easy to use way. And we've got the current drive here, trip A, so 60 mpg with the current distance, and trip B as well. And there are some settings which we looked at a bit earlier, but they just put it in a different place for you. Got USB, so if you have got some files from a USB device, you can play that on this infotainment screen. Got AM, so we looked at FM a bit earlier, but there is an AM system built in. Very, very similar, pretty much exactly the same kind of thing really. Got the frequencies here, you can press and hold to add new stations, seek, tune, scan, and your station list. And there aren't really any AM stations to use here. And then DAB, this is probably the most advanced the most advanced app for radio on the car. Obviously it's the newest. So instead of calling them sort of stations, they are called ensembles. So you've got the stations along here that are favourites that someone set. You've got the sound settings, which we won't look at because we looked at that a bit earlier. Got the current thing that's being played. So this is smooth radio, I believe, that's being played right now. So if I click on BBC Radio 6, it says rock music, talk sport is sport, absolute radio. And then you've got the ensemble list, which is all the stations and all the regions for the car and what stations it can pick up. And then you can change ensemble or change region essentially into a different category of DAB stations you can listen to. There are some settings as well, so these are very different to the FM settings we looked at a bit earlier. So you've got DAB to DAB link. So this says, selects whether the system automatically searches for the same station from ensembles and switches to it. So if you are driving cross country and you are listening to one radio station that was local to where you started from, it will do its best to switch you to the same station but in a different region, so you get regional based sort of music and news coverage. DAB to FM link, that will, if a station doesn't not that common anymore, but if a station does have the same station on DAB and FM, it will switch to FM or to DAB vice versa based on the signal level that the car has picked up. Scan mode, you can set between all or ensemble. You've got TA information, so that's on or off, the traffic announcements. Other information, so that's based on warnings, news and weather. And slideshow, so this is typically album artwork or radio station artwork and the station or music that's being played or the host. Back to the main screen, we'll go across to here. System updates. This can be done via Wi-Fi or another method. And you can go in here and connect the car to a Wi-Fi network. You can automatically download new software. You've got version status, so it tells you what version of audio system the car's on and the TCU. Connection setups, you can connect your phone to a Wi-Fi network, as I said earlier. Automatically update is declined, but we will accept that. And then the update history as well. Doesn't look like it's actually updated anything since the car's been made. It's not that old, it's only done about 1,000 miles. There is also the Wi-Fi hotspot, which when I loaded this earlier to test it would work, it takes ages to load. So it says no data connection, hotspot is turned off, and it says please subscribe to Honda connected services or contact your Honda dealership. You can refresh it, you can click on settings, got the SSID or the network Wi-Fi name and the password there. Lastly, we've got this page where we've got clock. So I looked at earlier, we've got the Asimo robot, but there are some settings in here for the different clock faces. So you can have some ocean ones there, which I'm going to choose with a turtle. And that's about it really. Go back, got messages. So any notifications that the car has picked up, and these look like they're online, there's none of those. Got the display mode, so this just brings up this display mode option down here. Adjust brightness, adjust the contrast as well, day and night mode. Owner's manual, which is a fully digital owner's manual for the car. So there is a very big manual, a book in the glove box, but there is an option in here to have a look at a digital version instead. And then lastly, we've got app installer. So if you have got some manual APK files you want to install that are Android, you can install those from a USB drive. So for the driver's display on the Honda Jazz, we've got a fairly comprehensive and detailed system. This little display has kind of been on most Hondas for the past few years, but it does work in a very nice way. On the steering wheel, I've got a tiny rubber wheel, which I can use to scroll through certain things. As you can see down here, it is scrolling through the trip computer now. It's got A and B. I've got a back button, which takes you back to the main screen, and I've got a home button, which takes you back to the home screen. So when you do click on the home button, it takes you to this menu view, and you've got the option to look at a simple menu view. So when you press the brake pedals will light up, gives you a good idea of what's happening. Same with the indicators as well. Scroll down and go back. Got the power flow one, which is when the engine's running, where is the power coming from in the car? All pretty nice to use there. Got the range and fuel version, which is the trip computer, and you've got the average MPG and the range left. Got fuel economy, so it gives you a very good idea of when and how efficient the car has been over certain periods of time. There was a better view on the main display in the car. Got speed and time, so you've got the average speed you've done and the amount of time you've driven. Got the audio, so you've got the audio that's playing right now, no audio playing. Got the phone, so no phone connected. Navigation, there's when you have got some navigation running, it will display that in there. Speed alarm, so you have an alarm when you go over 30 or 50 miles per hour. Driver attention, so it will give you a score based on how attentive you've been while driving. Seat belts, who in the car has got their seat belt done up and who hasn't. Safety support, so what safety systems are turned on in the car. Brightness for this little display here, so this is just this driver's display. Go back. And then change units from mph to kilometers per hour. Customize display, so you can choose to have certain things in this big list not turned on. And then lastly, information. And then also, I mentioned earlier, when you go into vehicle settings and the meter setup, when you do click on warning message, it turns off the text basically. If we go back to the main screen here, so if we go to the view I was on earlier for fuel, so that was this one, it would get rid of the reset button. So it sort of gives you a bit of a handy hint on how to do certain things. So that's been a look at the infotainment system and the driver's display in the 2025 Honda Jazz. If you like this sort of content, please subscribe to the channel. My name's Alex, and I'll see you again next time.